strange, isn't it? You know, when we talk about certain decades, certain generations, we mention always the same as few people, you know. There are always sort of people that define a decade. Some might say, for instance, for the 1990s, it could be Oasis, the Spice Girls, Britpop, you know. That was the sort of thing. And once the tabloids and once the mainstream media get onto that, that's what becomes indelible in your mind. And it's fascinating to think that there are so many stories out there regarding various decades, whether it be the scandals of the gay 90s, the Edwardian era, Victorian era. Every decade produces someone or more than one person that simply defines that particular decade. This lady is one of them, without a doubt. The last time I bumped into the very glamorous supermodel Twiggy was actually on a tube in Westminster, alongside her very debonair husband, Lee Lawson, the actor. Lovely lady, always down to earth, always ready to chat with people. We've sat next to each other many times at sort of, you know, opening events and things like that. And she's just so super friendly. But of course, she's more than just a model, isn't she? She's more than just a face of a particular era. You see, for Twiggy herself, she told me that she'd never really had great plans to become famous. It sort of just happened, all thanks to that very now professional snapper taking those pictures and her look, the look of the 1960s, the super wave, super thin Twiggy, or better known to her family and friends as Leslie Hornby, took off. Of course, her career went from strength to strength. I mean, you know, literally, she was the face of Great Britain, the United Kingdom of that period, alongside the likes of Jean Shrimpton and many other models of the day, plus the Beatles, the Stones, all the big hip happening things. And she said it was a wonderful time. You know, you felt the world was your oyster. Of course, she was very young at the time. She went on to conquer Broadway, make records, become an ambassador for a clothing giant, her own cosmetic range, write books, become a pop star. I think I sort of really became aware of Twiggy. Really was probably when she had a bash at being a pop star with a track called Here I Go Again. She popped up in a pop show and I thought, wow, who's that? And alongside that pop single, they decided also to embrace her advertising, yes, mopeds. You see, nothing's new. They always combine the duo. But now it looks like Twiggy's set to be a light once again. This is all thanks to a brand new musical based on her life, which is set to open in London in September later this year. And it's a jukebox musical. And I said to her, you know, do you mind that particular phrase? She said, no, it is really, that's what life is about. We all love jukeboxes. We make selections of things that really appeal to us. She just hopes that her story will appeal to the masses. It's going to be shown at a very small theatre in London, and if well received, hopefully will take off and tour around the world with a huge West End opening. I asked her though, what was her biggest memory of the 60s? And she said simply, just being there. Just living it, you know. There were so many things going on. The Perfumo scandal, she said, glamorous things happening, wonderful nightclubs, brand new sounding music, and to be part of it, she said, was like a dream come true. When I look at the pictures, it is like looking at someone else, but if I think long and hard enough, I definitely lived it. I'd love to know, what did you live during the 60s, if at all? Do you remember Twiggy? What was she like for you? For many women, a huge inspiration. As ever, let me know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. And more importantly, would you go and see the musical Twiggy? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.